What's up, Sogcast fans? We got another episode here for you, and vibes are at an all-time high. At least for this season, they're at an all-time high.
That's not what all-time means.
It does for this season.
Okay.
Mariners are averaging 7 runs a game since the Randy trade. We've made a bunch of good moves. We added Justin Turner. We have a whole bunch to talk about, and we're really excited to talk about it. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. I'm Patrick.
I'm Matt.
And I'm Garrett.
The Mariners are scoring runs. Let's just first and foremost, that is the most exciting thing.
It's awesome. Scoring runs is how you win ball games. I mean, you can't just pitch your way out of everything. And the pitching was what was holding this Mariners team together for the entire first half of the season. And it's honestly more than the first half until the deadline. But The Mariners did end up making a couple big moves at the deadline, before the deadline. We didn't end up with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the number one wish list item, but we did end up with Randy Arozarena.
That's huge.
Huge, dude. We love Randy. And we ended up with Justin Turner, who is immediately making an impact on this team. I love Justin Turner. He seems to come in and just meld with this ball club immediately, has no problem coming in here and doing what he's always done. I mean, he's taken more at-bats than this entire team combined, honestly.
And what's funny is it was actually kind of a down year overall for the trade deadline. Like, there was a few big moves here or there, but the biggest move of the deadline was Randy, which the Mariners got. And we were hoping for Vlad, and didn't work out. No one got him. Blue Jays held on to him. And we got Justin Turner instead, and I initially was not happy with the move. I was like, he's 39 years old. He's old. Like, what are we doing here?
On paper, it does look bad, right? Like, 39-year-old. But being 39 and still in a lineup in the league is huge. He played for the Red Sox last year after leaving the Dodgers for his long Dodgers career. He went to the Red Sox for 1 year and made a difference there. And then he made his way to the Blue Jays. He looks way better in a blue uniform, just going to say that. And the Red Sox do have a blue uniform too. He looks good in blue. And he made his way to the Mariners after the Blue Jays stint. And he was hitting like over 500 for the last week or two before we ended up picking him up too. So he was heating up. Apparently he was dealing with some kind of illness earlier in the season that was hindering his performance. So it's good to see right when he was heating up and the trade deadline was coming up, the Mariners jump on a guy like Justin Turner. And being 39, it's just a testament to how well he's played in his 30s throughout the entire last decade. I mean, who else does that?
Man.
Those are guys like Miguel Cabrera and guys like Albert Pujols make it to 40, but not many guys can say that they make it that far and are producing that well. So, and he's so smart, man. He's so experienced, and he likes to talk about hitting. So he's going to be great on this team.
My initial thoughts were similar to Patrick's. I was like, man, old guy, second oldest guy in the league.
I was excited when you guys were expressing like a little bit of discontent.
I was
like, let me try to turn this around real quick.
You definitely
did.
You turned both of us easy.
And also, Justin Turner has now turned us around with his play immediately since getting here.
My initial thoughts were that it was good. It was going to be good for vibes.
Yes.
Dude has more experience than the whole team put together. He's got a lot to teach these guys, and that's awesome. Like, that still stands, but that's kind of all I was really thinking about. When you mentioned, like, dude, it's a testament to how good he's been in the last decade.
Consistency.
Like, you know what? Let's go right now. And then all he's done since he's gotten here is proven exactly that.
2 out RBIs. Like, he's the guy you want at the plate. One of the guys you want at the plate with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. Like, he's seen it. He's seen it all. And he's a guy you can trust. He knows what to look for. He keeps his head. Good or bad result, he keeps his head too. He's not going to be too up or down because he knows how important it is to just stay consistent and stay stable. And I think he adds a ton of stability to this lineup on an everyday basis in a DH first base role.
And one of the things that has impressed me so much since he's been here, like his first hit that he got as a Mariner, 0-2 count and a pitch in on his hands, and he swings smart, gets his hands in on it, and just muscles it into right field.
Yep.
And I was just like, that is a piece of hitting that I have not seen from the Mariners team.
It's been a minute.
Year. Like, it was smart, veteran hitting.
It was his first opportunity to get an RBI, and he just flares it into right with 2 outs, right? And,
Yeah,
and
2 outs,
scores
2 strikes.
Robles or someone from second. Yeah, or it was great, man. That's what we wanted to see, and he immediately was making a difference. Polanco has been heating up. At the top of the show here, I just want to issue a huge apology to all our Polanco-loving fans who were telling me to shut up about Polanco. I wanted him off this team, dude. I didn't think he could hack it. He didn't. I was optimistic about his performance and what he could do for us, his potential. But he hadn't shown it. At best, he was streaky. At best, he was at least walking, you know. But he has shown that he can see the ball a lot better right now. He must be eating a lot of carrots because he's eyes wide, ready to hit anything. He's putting the barrel on the ball, and early in their season, I was saying when he puts the barrel on the ball, he's going to do damage. And sure enough, he has been heating up and will be on the roster for the rest of the season, as well as Mitch Haniger, so I have to be okay with that. And I'm more than okay with that. I just was overreacting, and I feel bad that I wanted Jorge Polanco off the roster.
You're not the only one.
I don't think you were really overreacting.
I was being a little hyperbolic, but like he wasn't doing anything for us until this last couple series where he's actually heated up, and hopefully his knee's going to be okay. I know he had an injection in his knee after the Boston series, and he's going to contribute to this team down the stretch, so hopefully he's less streaky and more consistent, keeps putting the barrel on the ball. Sorry, Jorge, but I do love you, and let's get it done. Let's do it. He's here. I have to be okay with Haniger and Polanco being on the roster, and I like both the guys. I just want them to show that they can take over a series occasionally, and they have.
Sure. Maybe shift your criticisms over to Mitch Garver.
I might have to. But he's only valuable now because he's a backup catcher. But we have him for
True.
next year, and he took some shit. Do you guys want to get into this recap where
Let's talk about it, because this is some bullshit.
The Garver thing? Yeah. So I guess interesting isn't the right word, but about it is he did say he knows he's playing terrible and he's tired. He was getting death threats.
Yeah.
And, you know, some things aren't the same as others. Like people telling him to retire and stuff. Like, that's kind of shitty. But that's not in the same vein as like threatening family or him, like with death threats and stuff. That's obviously absolutely deplorable. And what's funny, again, funny might not be the right word, but you know, what's about that is like Paul Sewald and his wife also spoke out about how when they were struggling with the Mariners, they were getting messages about how he should off himself and this type of stuff. But Paul Sewald even said most of the time it was disgruntled gamblers.
Yeah, I was going to say that too, man. It's a lot of gambling because the Mariners maybe aren't favored in a game where they're going to win by 1 run, and Paul Sewald's the guy on the mound that gives that up 1 out of 18 appearances. He's going to, you know, blow that save. And
whoever's doing it,
gamblers.
it's fucked up. Don't do that.
It ruins a parlay and it ruins someone's whole life. Think about it's gambling addiction. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that sucks for them. But
yeah, dude, I'm not trying to back them up. I'm just saying this is where that kind of attitude comes from. Extreme gambling leads to extreme feelings, which leads to extreme actions, which is like DMing professional athletes about your failed parlay. Like, fuck off, dude. All you guys suck a dick, dude. Honestly, that's terrible. If you're a Mariners fan and you're DMing Mitch Garver, it better be only good things and telling him that we trust that he'll get better. Like, you can't root against your own players. It's not Mariners fans that are doing
that. And the good portion of the fan base ended up giving him an ovation. Like, dude, we got your back.
Yeah.
He said, you know, very emotionally that he's never slumped this hard. He's struggling right now.
Yeah.
And like, dude, I mean, first of all, get it together.
Yeah.
Play better baseball.
of
But
course.
also what has happened to him is fucked up.
That's the most obvious thing. He knows,
he knows that. Yeah.
And you're right, dude. You're right, Garrett, about it's the first time he's gone through that. He's never been through that kind of thing in Texas. He's never been with a team, like that was tough. He did ground into a tough double play when we had a big situation, and
that's
went 0 for
frustrating.
4,
and we were allowed to criticize him for that.
But he's naive in that field of social media backlash, and I'm glad that a guy like Paul Sewald can say, like, I see what's going on here. Mitch Garver's reacting in a way where he's not experienced that before, and people like Sewald can back him up and be like, this is what's happening. Don't worry about, the disgruntled gambling part of the thing, and, like, at least assuage the situation a little bit.
And I'm all for heckling players, like, especially, like, I mean, I've called out Alex Bregman to his face about cheating and stuff like that.
He took it in stride.
He did. He was actually he was kind of funny about it. He blew Owen and I kisses at him.
Oh, so cute.
But the thing is like,
cry about it, Patrick.
Yeah. But like when you like jeer these players or like heckle them or whatever, keep it about baseball. Like, I know that Alex Bregman's wife is named Reagan, and Reagan Bregman is hilarious. That's so funny. But I'm not going to clown on him about his wife, because, like, wife, kids, family, none of that. Keep it about baseball and keep the insults baseball related. It's a game. We're all here to have fun. And,
it's hard to keep it between the lines for people on the outside of the game, for sure. So it's easy for that to bleed over, You want to keep it between the lines, but when things get more emotional, the more bleed over into personal it gets. So, and that's just fan reaction stuff. The more upset you are, the more drunk you are, whatever, the more extreme reaction you're going to have. And social media just amplifies that insanely. So, people gonna be people. It's always gonna happen, and players have to be aware of that. I hope teams have their, like a team psychologist that's able to at least sit down and talk about that type of things, because social media is such a huge pressure, especially for up and coming young players.
Yeah.
And then older players who are really going through it for the first time, Mitch Garver style, like. He's over 30, and I think he's kind of out of the loop of like what's happening in that social media realm, where there is a lot of backlash in all directions, and he needs to be able to take that in stride too.
We're the same age as him, and we're pretty internet savvy. I don't think his age is anyway. That doesn't matter at all.
I don't think he's that active on. He doesn't seem like that
I
kind
bet
of guy.
Mitch Garver spends less time on Instagram than I do.
Well, let's hope that he plays better baseball than
Yes.
he has. That's the real point here.
Yeah.
He's point taken, and all the other social media stuff, the whole conversation is relevant to just the culture of sports in general in the world, the gambling stuff, everything. So it's good to have that conversation every once in a while to kind of figure out what's going on there.
And not to kick Garver while he's down, and we will keep this strictly baseball related, but my good friend Andrew, he lives in Boston. He was at the Red Sox Mariners game where Mitch Garver went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position all 4 times.
That was Game 3 Wednesday. We lost 3-2,
and he could have taken over that game by himself. And Andrew was telling me, he's like, I've never seen someone just look so lost at the plate. And I think it's now just created this snowball effect where he's doing so poorly, so now he's trying hard. You're trying hard, and you're trying too hard, and
overcorrecting.
And you can tell yourself, I mean, obviously I've never played at this level or this type of scale, but even in just my playing days, I would go through slumps, and the worst thing I could do was be at the plate thinking about how I can end my slump.
Yeah.
You just got to play. And the thing is, Garver is a good player. Besides this year, he's a good player. And if he could just go back to, the confidence and everything, like, hey, obviously I'm good. I'm on a major league roster. I'm a World Series champion. Like,
he's got his ring.
For
a reason.
And with his comments, I fully believe that he's not sandbagging. He's not tanking. He's not like, oh, I got paid. I don't care about this team. I'm just collecting the paycheck. He seems legitimately upset. He does care. And it sucks that it's not working out. And he does need to figure it out fast.
Part of one of his quotes was like, I'm committed to this team through next year. Like, my contract goes through next year, not just the end of this year. And yeah, things are bad. Like, obviously, yeah. And he feels pressure from all directions to do better for the team, for his family, for the front office. That's everything. Like, his spot on the team was supposed to be an everyday DH, and he's been pushed into a backup catcher role. That doesn't feel good. You feel like you might get pushed off this roster if the team trades for a catcher at the deadline. Like, if the Mariners, luckily, the Mariners are too cheap to fucking move on from a guy like Mitch Haniger or Mitch Garver at the deadline and eat that money. But Mitch Garver can still be a huge impact on this team because of what you're saying, Patrick. He has been that guy. Look at his baseball reference page, and you see that year over year he is a guy. Mm-hmm. And like, what's changed? His environment's changed, and he hasn't made the adjustments he needs to make. Maybe that's a mental part of the game that he's missing and not able to transfer over to a new team, a new environment, and maybe he needs more time to figure it out and settle. But like,
well, he's got it. He's not going anywhere.
He's got another year.
He's got the time.
I'm just hoping he puts
use
one
the
over
time
the
to
fence.
get good.
If he puts some over the fence occasionally and isn't in the lineup every day, I'm happy with his thing, but we shouldn't push for him to make more of an impact and put him in the lineup more than we have to. He should still be a backup catcher the way he's performing, and he has to prove that he's better than that before we see him in a DH role again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's going to catch Kirby days. Cool. He's in the lineup those days. We can use him off the bench if we want to, but honestly, that's not going well either. So I don't know. We're very right-handed, and he's another right-handed hitter. We have better options than him. I'd put Dylan Moore in before I put him in for a pinch hit situation right now. But he's playing every day. But you know what I mean. Like, he's not a high-tier quality option off the bench right now.
I think it's so funny. It was, 2 months into the season when Mitch Garver hit his walk-off home run, and he did the bat drop and, like, just the sigh of relief of, like...
Yes.
And then he literally has done nothing since then. We thought that was going to be the turning point.
It felt like it.
And it's been... I mean, even that seems like forever ago when he hit that walk-off home run. It's just...
Yeah.
It was like the end of May, probably.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. It took him forever to do that. And then... But, I mean, the Mariners signed a guy that had 0 hits at our field at T-Mobile.
He was 0 for, 35, 36?
And he was in our division, which means he played here all the fucking time. And he had 0 hits. He was like 0 for 32 or something at T-Mobile before he was on our team. And then he didn't even get a hit for the first... I don't know. It felt like a minute before he got his first hit here, and it was a big deal. He's like, oh, he hit a double to left, his first hit. It's like, okay, we're 5 games in. Can we speed this up a little bit? Like, how do you sign a guy that doesn't hit well in our stadium and expect him to do well when we play half of our games here? Not that he's hitting better on the road, but still, it's not the best thing to look at. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, Mitch Haniger's got to turn it around. But guys that are doing well, Victor Robles.
Oh, my God.
New fan favorite. Oh, my God.
Holy cow, this guy is electric.
He's electric. He's funny. He's great for the crowd. Like, he knows how to work the crowd. He's almost like a WWE wrestler. Like, honestly. He knows how to cut a promo and work the crowd.
Yeah, dude.
Even on tonight's game, Saturday's game, he got hit in the knee and fell face down on the plate, and the crowd went all silent, and then he got up and was like, I'm good, and like pumped the crowd up. The dude is like, he's energetic.
He's like, no, the vibe just died. Oh, I guess I look like I died. He pops up like, no, come on.
We're good.
Let's go. I'm on base. You know me. I'll steal second. He's awesome, dude. He has so much energy for the team, for the fans. He's performing his ass off. He was a first-round pick, I think, way back when. Highly touted prospect, won the World Series with the Nationals when they went on a run in 19. This has got to feel like that for him. The Nationals had not a great start to the season, and they skyrocketed at the end of the season through the summer to the playoffs and a victory in the World Series. And he's got to feel that again, you know. I think he's bringing that kind of momentum.
we need it badly, and it's great to see.
He went upper deck. Upper deck. The first
He dropped
game
an upper decker on
against
the
the
Phillies.
The Phillies came into town. First pitch of the game. Dude rips a 450-some foot home run into the upper deck and left.
Yeah, dude.
And he knew immediately. He was just like, yeah, baby. Did a little dance around first.
Yeah.
So sick, man.
I was at that game, and I was sitting in the terrace club on the third base side, so the home run was kind of near me. And I mean, as soon as it left the bat, you were like, how far is this thing going to go? And it was also, the offense, again, just scoring runs. So in that game, Victor Robles hits a leadoff home run.
Yeah.
And then in the second inning, Luke Raley hits a 3-run shot, also a tank to the upper deck in right field. And then new guy.
Ooh, upper deck in right field. Let's not just walk over that.
Yeah.
It was so launched. And then same inning, new kid on the block, Justin Turner hits a
Young blood.
young guy
Young
Justin
blood.
Turner
The new guy on the block.
Yeah.
says 39 is the new 37 and cranks a grand slam.
He knew immediately too, dude. You can see his reaction. He's like, "Oh, yup, that's me. That's us. Game over." That made it 8-zip in the second inning.
Yes.
A 3-run homer and a 4-run homer.
Sick.
And it was so nice. We have talked about this, about how every Mariners game is stressful and you're
Grandpa, get out the rye bread and mustard. It's Justin Turner. Sorry, JT. He's the man. Grandpa JT.
But we were talking about how every game is stressful and you're sweating and swearing and on the edge of your seat and every pitch matters. And to be up 8-0 in the second inning and you can just relax.
Oh.
You can just take a breath and enjoy a baseball game rather than every pitch is life or death.
Exasperated.
I don't know what to do with my
a lot of
hands.
taking your hat off, throwing your hands up. Why do I come to these?
Yeah.
What do? I can't
you
complain.
You
I
can
can't
kick it.
All right.
Yeah, you can just relax and watch baseball. That was the first time this year I relaxed and watched a baseball game. And it was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
I'm happy for you. Congratulations. Great pick of a game right there.
I got super lucky. Also, I had a chance to win a boat that game.
Yeah, you were on the field.
I was on the field.
Drone show after the game, right?
Yeah, basically, Catherine and I were having a drink in the pen, and two ladies from the Mariners marketing squad came up to us, and they were like, "Hey, would you guys be interested in winning a boat?" And I said, "Yes, we would, absolutely." And sure enough, we got to be one of. There was 8 people selected. 2 people didn't show up, so we had a 1 in 6 chance to win this pontoon boat.
Damn.
The odds were in our favor.
That's what's up.
But yeah, we got to go down onto the field for the drone show. They brought the boat out, and we did not win the boat, unfortunately. If we did, I would have taken you to come out with us, but unfortunately didn't win. Still a really good time.
Damn, we can't run that contest to go out on a boat with Patrick.
Can you imagine?
Damn.
New contest. Come join us on the party boat.
Pontoon
The
boat.
party pontoon.
The soggy pontoon.
Soggy pontoon, man.
One day.
Yeah. We didn't win, unfortunately, but it was a lot of fun. And yeah, that was the best all-around game experience I've had in years.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, man.
It was really cool.
It was a great game for the Mariners. And honestly, the Phillies haven't been playing their best baseball despite being one of the best teams overall record-wise. They've lost, their last 6 series? They were 7-7.
I saw they
lost
were
7 out of their last 10 games before coming into
and they had
Seattle.
lost 12 of their last 16.
Oh, they're struggling. Their offense, for all the bats they have in their offense, all the names they have in their offense, they are not getting it done lately. And this is a get-right series for both teams.
Yeah.
And the Mariners have already taken the series.
We did.
Yep.
After today,
Scored
game
10?
just wrapped up.
Yeah.
We should have wiped them 10-0 the first day, but Jonathan Diaz, I think, came in the 9th and gave up 2 runs. We were talking about that game here recently. But yeah, I mean, the Phillies came out swinging. Tyler Phillips, He's only thrown a few games in the majors and had some success. Like he was a kind of a success story under the radar over the whole MLB, but like, yeah, Robles welcomed him to Seattle with that first pitch homer. We put one in the upper deck. We hit a grand slam. He just got absolutely buried in 2 innings.
I almost put him on my fantasy team this week.
You almost started him?
I almost started him, and I didn't.
As like a waiver pickup?
Yes.
His last few starts look good. And it's like against the Mariners. But this is the thing. The Mariners have changed. Randy Arozarena's in town. We have a few catalysts on our
That would have
team
tanked
now.
my shot to beat Patrick this week.
Yeah.
We're in a battle right now.
You're still up
No,
like
I'm
20
winning.
points. Something like
I'm
that?
winning that battle.
It's all
Yeah.
right. It's still tomorrow.
Haniger ended up going
okay.
deep on Friday, too.
And
Haniger's kind
today.
of heating up. Yeah, another game with Haniger.
Back-to-back days, Haniger hits home runs. What?
And he took the 10th inning walk-off walk against the Phillies. He had a homer and had the walk-off walk. He worked two really good walks this game too. Like he's showing his experience as well. I'm thinking like guys like Justin Turner are helping these veteran players figure it out again. I hope it bleeds into Mitch Garver's game too.
Let's hope. Also, the Mitch Haniger walk-off walk was also really crazy because he struck out twice in that at-bat. Yeah. He walked on about 5 strikes. The umpire, I mean, those are brutal calls. We'll take them. It worked out in our favor.
There was one especially that was in the zone and was called a ball, which should have been strike 3, and then we ended up walking with the bases loaded. Yeah, so we'll see that scorecard tomorrow and all the Phillies fans. But we understand. I mean, against Boston, the first game against Boston, when Logan Gilbert was pitching, there was a strike that was
I'm
called
talk
a ball.
about a bad strike 3, dude.
It led to
Come
7
on.
runs.
And we lost that game by 7 runs.
Yeah, so we know how that feels. Sorry, Phillies fans, but that's the way the cookie crumbles or whatever. The way the ball rolls.
Something.
Yeah.
The way it gets called sometimes. But yeah, going back in time here, a little Tarantino action. That opening game against the Red Sox, the Mariners lost 14-7. And at that point, I was just excited that the Mariners scored 7 runs in one game. I was like, that's incredible. And sure enough, Logan Gilbert, I mean, our ace this year, definitely our best pitcher, someone you want on the mound.
You can't say one bad thing about Logan.
Especially, and you wanted him on the mound in this opening game against Boston, and it was the fourth inning. He should have had strike 3. I mean, beautifully painted, bottom of the corner. Should have been strike 3, inning over, and you didn't get the call, and the wheels immediately fell off. After that, with 2 strikes and 2 outs, after that missed call, they scored 7 runs.
That was painful,
They
bro.
hit 4 doubles in a row.
Yoshida Masataka, who he hit his 5th home run of the year. He is not a home run hitter. And I even listened to a Sox podcast. What's up, Section 10? But they know Masa doesn't hit home runs. And whenever he does, they're like, how? Like, I think he hit a walk-off home run recently or a late go-ahead home run. And they were like, who was expecting, like, that's a 1% chance thing. And, like, he does it against the Mariners after that botched call, too. It's like, of all people, Yoshida, and then it's just double off the monster. Double, double, double. Even their lefties just pepper that monster.
Yeah, and another brutal thing about that wheels falling off inning is they even, after Logan lost the call and that runner got on, and then he had like a 9 pitch at bat against the next guy, who then hits an RBI single. And then they finally do a mound visit. They're like, all right, let's calm him down. Let's take a breath here. They do a mound visit. First pitch after the mound visit was the Yoshida 3-run home run. Literally the first pitch. And it was just like, is there any stopping this? And then the doubles. the doubles kept happening, and
I swear they have our PitchCom Bluetooth or something, man. They know what's like, I don't know. Something was happening.
It was wild.
That's the Sox, though. At their Sox at home, they're going to do that sometimes. And Fenway does lead to inflated offense. We saw the Mariners score more than we had in a while. And, I mean, Fenway's a great place to hit. Like I said, their lefties practice peppering that monster, just doubles all day. Dom Smith was doing it. They were hitting oppo home runs over the monster too. Like they beat us, you know.
Yep.
Like they did well enough, and it's good to see that the Mariners are in a place where we could compete. But that Sunday game, I know we're talking, or Wednesday game, the third game was huge because that determined the season series against the Red Sox, and we don't see them again. And since we lost the season series against them. So any tiebreak situation in the wild card goes to the Sox. So there's more implications than we usually feel this early in the season. And we made a really dumb decision at the end of that day. But to start that game, before we get there, George Kirby started this game. We know George Kirby likes to throw knuckleballs. He doesn't, but he likes to throw them. He threw a first pitch knuckleball in remembrance of Tim Wakefield, which is awesome, man. And I think Boston fans appreciated that too.
Well, he threw his first knuckleball in a game the day that Tim Wakefield passed away last year. And then this year, since Tim Wakefield was a longtime Red Sox,
full-time Red Sox.
Yeah. Kirby wanted to also throw one at Fenway, so kind of another remembrance of Tim Wakefield.
I love that.
It's awesome. Also, throw it more. We need more knuckleballs.
Waldron's the only guy throwing one. He's on my fantasy team for the pods. He's throwing for the fathers. He's throwing knuckleballs down there.
I love a knuckleball.
I love it too. Kirby needs to throw it. He already has enough pitches. Like, throw one up there occasionally. 0-2 knuckleball. I loved seeing that, man. That was a great way to start the game. We didn't have much offense that day. We kind of got shut down. Dylan Moore had an RBI. Rojas hit a ricochet shot off the monster into the center field bleachers, like deep center field, which was nice to see that Rojas still's got that pop. Kirby went 5 1/3, 7 hits, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, 2 earned runs. And just had an okay day, but like still 2 runs is great. But we went late into that game with 2-2. It was like 8th inning, 2-2. Santos injured his arm. He has like a bicep thing now.
I'm just gonna say Santos is not the guy. It's a wash. He missed the majority of the season with an injury. He comes back, gets injured. Comes back, gets injured. This is his 3rd appearance that he's had to leave with injury.
He's volatile.
It's just he's not the guy. And maybe if he was healthy, but the Mariners have seen it firsthand, the injury bug take people's careers away from them. And I think Santos has the injury bug. There isn't shit you can do about it. It's not fair. It sucks, but
he's trying hard, obviously.
He's trying.
He's
and
going 100%, but he's not healthy enough to do it. His body can't take the wear and tear. And he, like I said, he's volatile. I don't know how well he takes care of his body, but emotionally he seems erratic. He gets very, very worked up in a good or bad way. If it's going bad, it can go very bad. If it's going well, he can still like throw a wild pitch because he's just going 100%. I feel like he's not mature enough to like be healthy and be consistent like that. And I think he is trying as hard as he can, but it's unfortunate that he's not going to be another flamethrower back there. But now that we have Jimmy, that helps a lot too. So
definitely,
Jimmy Garcia has been awesome.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, that whole day, Wednesday, kind of sucked. We went late into the game. Mitch Garver, 0 for 4, all with runners in scoring position, like we said, all the pressure that he took after that game. We went into extra innings. And we ended up facing, Rafael Devers.
Yep.
Rafael
with first
Devers
base open.
With first base open, the Mariners, sure as shit, couldn't score in the top of the 10th. Manfred runner on second and all. And we get to the bottom of the 10th, and there's first base open, and there's Devers, who was batting like 8 for 13 on the series or whatever. He could not get out. And they pitched to him. The run at the plate does not matter. The runner at second is the winning run. So why would you not walk Devers, throw up the 4, intentionally walk his ass to first base?
I would have expected that to happen listening to that. Like, I was like, yeah, so we just put him on, right?
And that sets up a force at any base and gets one of the scariest hitters of this series out of the way. And sure enough, they decide to pitch to him. Very first pitch, what does he do? Boom, ropes it off the wall, walk off, game over. Mariners lose the series. And
you don't pitch to Devers at home, especially at home. Maybe at our stadium you can like hope for the pop out or the fly out and like or the, but either way, like we've done it with Yordan too. And I thought we learned, like we did learn. We ended up walking Yordan a couple times in situations after we got beat a couple times. But Devers has done this to us too. He's hot. He's one of the best hitters in his home stadium. Like I said, their lefties pepper that wall like no other team can because they practice there.
Even when we played the Royals, we walked
He's an elite
Salvador
hitter.
Perez and I don't know, maybe Bobby Witt. I can't remember. But like,
yeah.
How is this different?
How are we regressing in managerial decisions? Like
lame duck manager, like I was saying. Lame duck manager is how. Dude is making worse and worse decisions because he knows it's his last year here. I don't know.
Not walking Devers is bad. It's not all on Scott, though.
No.
We should have not been in the 10th inning. We should have scored runs during the 9-inning game of baseball.
Yeah,
but we didn't really do that very much. So you kind of put the blame there, too.
It went to overtime where they get a free runner on second base. Like, of course they scored a run with Devers at the plate. But still, walk that guy. Yeah, into overtime. Free baseball, as they say. I know it's a funny. I know it's extras, but
how many points did we score that day?
We went into overtime.
We went into overtime because we didn't score enough points.
We only scored 2 points, and they ended up scoring 3 points because we threw the ball to their best
batsman.
Batsman, yes.
That's what they say.
Batsman's actually a pretty fairly nice baseball term.
It is.
Yeah, that's like an old school.
That sounds
school,
it
yeah.
sounds
kind of
classy
nice.
as hell.
The batsman is tight.
Yeah, the batsman is smooth.
Batsman.
But with that game and with us losing the series like that, we mentioned this all the way back in the 4-game series against the Yankees way early on in the season. But when we talked about Soto and Judge taking over a series, and these two players balled out so hard that they changed the trajectory of the series. And that is what Devers, Duran, and Yoshida did for the Red Sox. They took over that series. And
Jarren Duran, dude. I don't know. Jarren Duran's the man. That's all I have to say.
But those 3 players took over the series, and we lost because of those guys. Now, hopefully, with the star power the Mariners have added, we can see that in our favor now. Like, let's hope that, Robles or Arozarena can take over a series, and at the end of 3 games, you can be like, wow, that one player changed the outcome of this series.
Yeah.
Could be. I'm real excited to see Julio, Randy, and Robles all occupying the outfield and
it's going to be the most fun outfield of all time.
Fun baseball.
Julio should be back fairly soon. And the Mariners, they're 6 games above 500. They aren't they were approaching 500 in the wrong direction, right? But they're starting to pull out of this. Our lineup is improved,
yes,
which is nice. We made some moves at the deadline. We could have used maybe one more player, but with Julio returning soon, hopefully this next week here, and JP will be back early September probably, when the rosters expand 2 spots too. So, the Mariners have done good stuff at the trade deadline. Are you satisfied with our trade deadline acquisitions? Where are we at?
I mean,
can we give it a grade or like some?
I would say I would say in a normal year, I would give it like a B. But because trades were kind of down across the league, there was not a ton of big name superstars moving hands.
Yeah, it was more big pitchers than hitters moving.
Yeah, Jimenez got moved. That was interesting.
Yeah, that was very interesting. We'll talk about. Yeah, I can talk about that. Yeah, the Orioles wanted to pick up Eloy. Why? Why? I would like that's the player on my list here that I was like, if we end up with Eloy, I'm gonna be kind of pissed because he's a guy that looked. I mean, when he puts the bat on the ball, he hits it with authority. It's kind of like Julio-esque, but like a lesser tier Julio style hitter. And also, he's been unreliable health wise. He has the weirdest batting stances I've ever seen in my life. He tries so many weird things, and he's not a good left fielder. He looks like ass out there. So, like, I don't know what the Orioles are thinking trying to get Eloy, but I think they already had enough pieces, and they ended up trading, like, Austin Hayes and stuff. And I was like, what am I missing here? Apparently, they couldn't get Luis Roberts, so they just, like, went down a tier and got Eloy. But I don't understand that move. I was laughing.
Like how we couldn't get Vlad, so we got JT.
I mean, that's yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But the
It worked
Orioles,
out for us. I'm good with it.
It didn't seem like the Orioles needed to do that, but they did. And it's fine. I'm sorry to hit your mic over there, the Patrick.
I was gonna say though, overall, if it was a normal year, it would be like a B, maybe a C. But for like grading the trade deadline for the Mariners, but because it was such a weird kind of down year, I'm giving us an A. We got the two biggest names at the trade deadline were Jazz Chisholm and Randy Arozarena, and we got Randy, and it's worked out for us. And actually, Jazz is working out well in New York too. Which,
Oh yeah.
So I would say New York and the Mariners were kind of the biggest winners of the deadline.
You could say the Mariners were in the mix for maybe a top 3 deadline. I would say I wouldn't say top tier. The Yankees definitely got a lot with Jazz. What teams came? The Dodgers came away with the best deadline, of course, because they have the most assets and got like Kopech. They're able to plug holes. No matter who they get, it's gonna work out. Traded away Paxton, like. They did smart things and good things.
Paxton back on the Red
Sox.
Yeah,
he pitched against the Mariners.
We blew him up in the 5th inning for 5 runs. Like we did all right, and we ended up blowing him up eventually. He's at the end of his career for sure. He's not going to be around much longer. Yeah, I would grade the Mariners. I would still say it's like a B plus. I mean, I was hoping for one more player. I was calling for Luis Rengifo all day. We could have used a guy like that instead of like Leo Rivas on our roster, which, I mean, he's good. He's a replacement level player, and he's trying to gain experience in the majors, but it would be nice to have a 27-year-old switch hitter, utility infielder with a high BABIP. That's what the Mariners need exactly. But what we got is great. I like that. Like Randy, we've been calling for Randy since last trade deadline. We've wanted Randy on our team for a long time. He's a great fit. JT as a downgrade from Vlad is also good for the rental that he is. I love that. What did I want to say here? I wanted to say the Mariners have added a ton of experience and got a lot smarter. They're a smarter team. They added players that provide stability to our lineup on a daily basis. And even though we got a lot more right-handed, and we could have used one more player, like a switch hitter or a left-hander, the lineup has been improved. Overall, I'm happy with our deadline, even though we didn't go get a Vlad or a Luis Robert, but they didn't get moved.
They didn't get moved.
We definitely came out better than when we started.
That's true.
And
what we gave up. And let's be real, we were also kind of frustrated on this. We didn't give up any of our top prospects, and that's good and bad. On one side, that's definitely good. We were able to make these moves, and we literally gave up like nothing for them. Single A guys, double A guys. The only guy that we traded that had even touched a major league roster was Jonathan Clase.
Oh, yeah. I, for some reason, had Emmanuel Clase in here. He's
that.
the closer. I was like, What's the name?
That doesn't seem
That's
right.
a closer for
which
the,
is a good showing of how much of an impact he made on his team.
No, Clase was good for a minute, but the other guy too, Ryan Stanek, is another guy we shipped out to the Mets.
Forgot about him already.
I mean, we got Jimmy Garcia, who's making an impact immediately and can get more than 2 outs consistently, which is nice because Stanek was the king of getting 2 outs, like I said, all season. He had a good stint in the middle there where he heated up and was looking good and had a little bit of run, but then he fell off again. It was again the king of getting 2 outs and then walking 2 guys and like getting into trouble when we didn't need it and then having to go to a second reliever when he came in with a clean inning, got 2 outs and put us in a tough spot. It's like, fuck, man. Like, so we didn't need him. Like, we didn't need him to be, he can still throw almost 100 miles an hour. He still has a splitter. He's still valuable to some teams who have a worse pitching staff than the Mariners, but he wasn't good enough to hack it over here, which sucks, but like Jimmy Garcia is an upgrade from Stanek.
Oh, yeah.
So what he's done so far and what he's capable of is a lot more electric than what Stanek had going on. Even though I liked having Stanek here and I wish that he could have done it, he's aging out of his potential. Like his stuff is more flat than ever is what I'm thinking. His movement isn't as sharp as it's been, and he'll leave it in the
really
zone
fast.
Even though it's a 99, like, yeah, it's in the zone. It's getting hit because it's flat. Like, good luck. So
Yeah, but it's a lot of in the dirt.
good riddance, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not losing any sleep over it.
And then the whole Ty France DFA and trade to the Cincinnati Redners. We got something back for Ty France after DFAing him. That was kind of feel bad. What do you guys feel like about Ty France at this point?
Who?
Like a week later. He was lovable, right? Like,
No, I don't want to be too.
we had
shitty
some
on
good
him.
times,
Yeah,
right?
but
Right. Yes.
but and I've touched on this before of like holding on to fan favorites when they're not good anymore, but you like them, so you want to see them at the ballpark every day.
Yeah.
Ty France had to go. It was a bummer. He was a good part of this team. He brought good vibes and stuff, but the fact that the Mariners ownership didn't think he was going to improve, and his numbers year by year show that he was gradually declining. And yeah, whatever. Bye, Ty France. Good luck to you in Cincinnati, even though you just got no hit last night. That sucks.
Blake Snell with his first complete game in his career.
First time he's ever pitched in the 9th inning in his career.
Holy shit. Threw a no-no.
Through a no-no. Shout out Blake Snell. But
Local guy.
he is. And he wanted to pitch for the Mariners.
He did.
It didn't work out.
He can still opt out of his contract. Let's sign him in the offseason. With our rotation,
We'll see.
holy smokes.
But Ty France being gone, like, I'm going to be honest, I haven't even noticed.
Yes.
Yeah, it's very negligible thing. Like, emotionally, it was heavy at the time, especially at the low point we were at in the season. But it's hard to even notice the difference. With Locklear and Vossler in there for a minute, it felt bad. But as soon as we got Turner, things were looking up. And we had already gotten Randy by that point. So having both of those guys in our lineup really covered up the Ty France hole that was left. And we're okay just doing the Justin Turner and Vossler or whoever, Locklear, DH, first base, whatever thing. Turner's going to be in our lineup every day, and that's important. First base or DH, and Garver can have a diminished role. And then Haniger gets a little bit of a diminished role as well with another right-handed outfielder in town and having a better DH option. So I like where we're at, despite still having Marlowe, Vossler, Rivas on the roster. I'm just excited for what the lineup looks like when Julio and JP get back. I have
Very much so, yes.
We should throw a party the first day Robles, Julio, and Randy are all in the outfield at the same time.
coolest outfield ever.
It's going to be so much fun. I'm so excited for that. Although I am not as optimistic as you guys are that Julio's going to be back soon. High ankle sprains are brutal. We play fantasy football. we see that a high ankle sprain in football, they're like, oh yeah, it could be a week or two. They miss like 6-7 weeks.
I've had high and low ankle sprains, and high ankle sprains are very much worse. It takes 3 weeks longer than you think, like, to actually be 100%.
And we want him to be at 100%. We can't rush him back early.
I've played a game on a taped ankle. It fucking sucks. I was legging out there. It's tough, man.
And the Mariners are kind of banged up as a whole right now. Polanco's dealing with some knee stuff. Robles has been dealing with some hip and some feet stuff. You know, we need Julio to be 100%. And right now, the roster is performing well enough.
Cal also gets the shit kicked out of him every single day.
He's getting
that dude is not human. That dude is an android.
He eats more baseballs. He eats baseballs for breakfast, dude. Like, he probably has one of those mallets that he just whacks himself with every morning in self-flagellation just to be prepared for the game, just like ready. He's like, whatever, it's gonna happen anyway.
He does the Happy Gilmore just standing in front of a pitching machine, eating shots.
That's right. You remember that?
He's pissed off.
That scene in one of the Jackasses where they shoot the non-lethal cannon at him?
Yeah.
Like
Cal just
sandbag.
stands there.
Just taking
I
non-lethal
felt
sandbags.
That. It hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
And going back to the 7-run inning in the Boston game that shouldn't have happened, that whole inning could have been avoided, and Cal took a foul ball directly off of his surgically repaired hand. Missed no time. Didn't miss a pitch. Didn't get pulled from the game. The dude's toughness is insane.
I'm so concerned so often. I'm like, please no. Please not this time. I'm like, okay, thank God. Like, that dude is the toughest man in the league. I guarantee you he catches more games than any other catcher on any other team. I'll look that up. I mean,
no, I believe it. He's always in the lineup. And
every day.
And he's always getting beat up by foul tips into his thighs, his legs, his hand, right into his face. And I mean, yeah, that happens to all catchers. But the fact that he's in there every single night, except maybe once a week if Garver catches Kirby that week. Other than that, Cal is in there night in, night out, and he is constantly taking foul tips. And if you're watching on TV, these are brutal. They are hitting him on the inside of the thigh, no padding. He just shakes it off. He's so tough. I could not cope if Cal went down with an injury.
Please sign him up for fucking
a billion years.
Fucking give him an 8-year contract, please. Please. Him and then Logan or Kirby. Like,
let's keep the score.
Let's start signing these dudes up, man. Please. Like, Cal is a core part of this team with Julio, Cal, and then, I mean, whatever starters we decide to sign up, we're not going to be able to sign all of them. But, I mean, Kirby or Gilbert, I want both. But, like, if we have to, it's going to be one of those two plus one of Wu and Miller. It'll probably be Miller. Like, they'll probably have to sign one of two of, like, the guys that come up in every wave. And that's kind of how I feel about how the Mariners operate. They're not going to be able to say, yeah, we're going to extend our entire starting rotation for the next.
I was a little worried about Miller today. He kind of got pieced up a little bit.
Me too. I knew that the Phillies are the best fastball hitting team, and Miller throws a lot of four-seam fastballs, even though it's one of the best fastballs in the league RPM-wise and like swing and miss-wise. I knew the Phillies would get on him.
But, I mean, props to the whole team for coming back for that win today. That was big. That doesn't happen a lot these days.
I mean, we were down 5-0. Mariners were down 5-0. And a month ago, that is a 5-0 loss.
Easy.
I would have felt defeated early in that game. Today, I knew that things are different and that we can turn it around.
For sure.
Sure enough, once the momentum started shifting, it just kept growing.
Yeah, and the Mariners come out with a come from behind, extra innings, walk-off, series-winning win. Like,
that's big for us.
That's huge.
Mitch Haniger walk to win the series in the first 2 games against the Phillies. That's awesome, dude. That's a really feel-good win for the Mariners. And
Let's go for the sweep.
I told you it's a get-right series for either team. We're getting right. Fuck the Phillies.
We talk a lot about bad decision-making from the management. The best decision I've seen in all year probably was to not give Garver the opportunity to blow this fucking game. Was it bases loaded?
Bases loaded, 2 outs, 5th or 6th inning. And yeah, Garver was due up, and they pulled him.
They put Rayleigh in.
Luke Rayleigh.
First pitch.
Juice Rayleigh.
Yes, dude.
Double.
First pitch, double off the wall, absolutely smoked.
Missile.
And yeah, and we ended up tying the game that inning and winning in extras. And now we got the series win. And
take the praise for that one.
Yes.
We can talk shit about it all day.
And we did end up getting thrown at the plate at the end, but we were going for it. We already tied the game. We're going for the go-ahead run. That's okay to send that guy in that moment, and it was a really close play. I commend every move that was made in those innings.
Absolutely.
I credit where credit is due. That was phenomenal, and it worked out for us. And this kind of ties into the Mariners, battling with some injuries and stuff, being rested. They just had an off day on Thursday, and now on Monday they have an off day. And that's an at-home off day, which is huge for these guys. Most of the time when a Major League Baseball, when the team gets an off day, it's a travel day. They're, going across the country. The Mariners get an at-home off day in the middle of their homestand. That's huge.
That's
We're
very
playing
nice.
the Tigers next.
So we're playing the Phillies right now. Next we got the Tigers, and then return of the hometown hero or Mariners legend himself, Ryan Stanek, coming into town with the Mets.
It's gonna be weird when we play the Tigers, the Mets, and then the Tigers. We need another banner.
Yeah. What are we gonna do?
Oh, I still have one of my other Tigers banners.
We'll have two Tigers.
Yeah, we'll have 2 different Tigers banners. But yeah, behind us here on our video on YouTube, please like our video. That'd be very nice. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening. We just do this on our own time because we love the Mariners and baseball and talking baseball with our buddies in the same room. So
very fun.
Here we are. Thank you. We're going to keep hanging these banners behind us so you can see who we're playing now and who we're playing next.
Yep.
If you're just listening on audio, check out our YouTube video, and you can see what we look like. I have this cool 1989 Miss Circus goddamn hydroplane shirt on. It's cool as fuck.
Shout out Seafair.
Check it out. Check out my cool shirt. Yeah, Seafair weekend. If you didn't know, you can hear those jets flying around here in Seattle.
If you didn't know,
They're racing.
If you
those
didn't know
boats.
about the jets,
clear as day.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
But we do have an at-home rest day, and then Tigers and Mets, and then Tigers.
Why do we have an at-home rest day like that? Are the
Just
Tigers coming in from like the East Coast?
They
or
must
something?
be having a travel day, and so
exactly.
it works out.
I wonder where they're coming from.
It works out in the Mariners' favor.
Maybe they're already on the West Coast playing like the Giants or something, and they're just flying up.
Royals.
But Royals, okay, from the
seems
middle
weird.
of the country.
Whatever. We'll
Either
take
way,
it.
We'll take the at-home rest day. It's going to be huge, especially with the Mariners being kind of banged up. That's just the rest and relaxation day they need.
a little R&R never hurts.
A little R&R.
Little Canadian whiskey.
Well, let's go out. Let's go out and see if we can meet some Mariners on their off day, their home off day. Let's go hang out at Pike Place. And
they're golfing. They are
they're not
100% golfing. And at some fancy course that I can't get into. I golfed today. That's why I'm wearing this
Are they
shirt.
playing at Sahali or some shit?
Glendale Country Club.
Oh, they're playing at Snoqualmie Ridge for sure.
You know it.
Yes. Yeah.
But Mariners will have an off day. They can do whatever they please. And we have 6 more off days until our next episode. We'll be back next week to keep you all informed. Thank you all for listening, and go Mariners!